Hello YouTube, today I'm just going to bring you some of the advanced tips available on Home Sweet Home Survive. So first part here is a swamp map exploit. So ledges, you always take damage when you fall down, but here you don't take damage. You can actually land on that little corner and don't take any damage. This can be done with practice. So all you have to do is aim for that place while you jump off from this place, and you do need to sprint to do that. Okay, and then you don't actually take any damage, so this can be done as much times as you want. Now there is another spot, but I couldn't replicate here. So if you somehow work this out, let me know. And there's another one here where you can jump onto the fence as well, but that doesn't seem to be any good because you end up in swamp anyway. But hey ho. Now this one is a quick show on treasure hunt. So on the left side you have treasure hunt on the right side you have treasure hunter off. You can see the difference is literally just a second. It saves time, but not that much. Okay, next you have Yuri and her camera flashlight. As you can see, the blind duration is really strong. 3.5 seconds roughly, I'm measuring it. A full blind, partial blind lasting about 4.5 seconds as well. So it is really good. However, there are catch. So this is about the distance you can use the camera flashlight on. If you go any longer than that, it doesn't seem to work either. The camera flash is very restricted to distance and directions you apply it as well. So here you have Belle in complete stealth. You can actually blind it even if she is invisible. However, if you were to try to do this camera blind from any other angle apart from the front, it doesn't work. So obviously it doesn't work from the back, it doesn't work from the side, it's only at the front when the distance is right, which is about that sort of distance. Okay, next we have here we have a situation where we've done two gens at 99%, where two gens were 99%ed, but somebody finished them for some reason. Now, this is something that the game doesn't really tell you. You don't always have to do it, but it is a very good idea to leave the rituals at 99%. The reason being is that if you all 4 rituals, even 3 rituals are activated but not done, that gives the Spectre more places for her to go and defend. Whereas if the only 2 last rituals are left, especially if they're close to each other, it's a lot easier for Spectre to defend. Now, only with 2 rituals done, you still do 50% damage, so it is possible to still exercise Spectre, and as I have done that in that game too. But it is harder, it's a lot more frustrating to do so. Just make sure you do 99% and let teammates know. Communication is very important. Speaking of communication, this is also an important part. You do need to use your stickers and pings effectively. Now, if in this gameplay, in all my gameplays, I ping at the Spectre, exact location of the Spectre, and I always put sticker to say I am being chased. However, I realized that some people cannot look backwards and ping Spectre, which is not something that comes naturally anyway. What you can always do is you can ping your feet as you're running ahead, and that way you're still giving the proximity location. And if all your teammate does, you can see the location of where the Spectre is. There is an arrow. Even if you're doing a ritual, it still shows the distance of Spectre from you, as well as the direction of the Spectre. And if you can't do a ritual when this is happening, well, that's on you. When you get the distance become way too close to you, make sure you make some space between you and the Spectre. And of course, if you do have any sort of a time available for you to be typing, of course, just let people know what's done and what hasn't been done. So if you're just simply typing the mid ritual is done by some sort of percentage, people will get to it and do it. Okay. Now here's a little another thing that you can do in this game. So if you're in mid animation of something, so traveling to the vents, pots, this could be also going into the lockers, or even rituals, you don't take any damage. And that's what's been happening here. And this is why one of the reading door slam is quite good, because when you're in mid motion, Spectre destroying the locker actually still stuns them because of this issue. Now, moving on to the motion side of the Spectre, Spectres have an E for execute. Now, normally this is good for getting HP, but however, one thing you do need to know in the mid game is that it is also very slow, as you can see on here. Next thing, if you are to use camera blind, so this is UE or holy water blind, if you do happen to equip a stamina drain, the blue light will show where survivors are. On this one, Spectres do have collision boxes. It is a bit small, but they do have it, so you can use that to effectively body block. Here's a quick tip on specific Spectre. So on Nymph, you have a cooldown of 60 seconds by default or 40 seconds with the Dark Occult for her active perk. And now, once 20 seconds has passed since you have used the ability, then she goes into an animation to go back to the range attack from melee attack. That actually stops you from moving for about a second or two. However, as you can see on this video here, if you were to use a execute at the same time or break walls or any other breakable object in the game, you can actually skip that animation altogether and do another thing at the same time. Prisoner can also use his active ability while in invisible form. And when you use that, you cannot react to it. There's no way you can react to this prisoner pulling you from distance with a hook. Now, lastly, one of the reasons that I don't want to do the perks yet is because I don't have every single perk unlocked. It takes time and effort to obviously unlock them all. I don't have many left, but the ones I got left isn't exactly the ones that I want to go for. Apart from Sturdy, I do want to test out on that one, but the rest of the perks are pretty bad. If you were to get any perks for your survivor site, I'd highly recommend either going with Focus and Sharp Eye. Basically go 100% on Ritual, nothing else. Go Focus and Sharp Eye. There's not much of choice here. Or if you are actually more about going all around build, Treasure Hunter. While it doesn't look like much by just saving 1 second only, if you think about it, it's 1 second out of 8 seconds. That's 12.5%. And that's the biggest bonus you will get in this game, apart from, technically speaking, Threat Expert. Yes, it does reduce it by 50%, but amount of traps you get in this game is limited. So again, it is more limited approach. Treasure Hunter, on the other hand, will be always useful throughout the whole game. For now, highly recommended survivor perk is Door Slam, combined with either Treasure Hunter, Superhero Landing, or Sturdy. They're all very good. Take a Rest and Adrenaline is not exactly highly recommended. They're good to have, but they're not great. Most of the survivor perks are pretty terrible. Right, that is it from me. If you have any suggestions or questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching and see you guys later. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I upload videos on a daily basis. If you got any suggestions or anything you have in mind, please leave a comment. Thanks for watching.